You've said that hip hop can't change anything because the world made hip hop. Hip hop didn't make the world.
Okay. Say that again so I can understand what I said.
Hip hop can't change anything. Cannot change anything because the world made hip hop. Hip hop didn't make the world.
Okay. Well, I might not agree with all of that now, but I probably was saying that when I was getting heavily criticized for promoting street music, and they used to try and correlate like what they call gangster rap in provoking like the gangs and promoting street violence. So that might have been said in context of that, because I was heavily criticized.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister, David Cameron, even called me out once in Parliament saying that the music I'm playing is promoting.
Yeah.
Like promoting
gun
gangs
and knife violence.
And violence, yeah.
Well, because
and that's why my radio station was so amazing for defending me. You know, we used to play sound effects. They said you can keep the bomb, but lose the gunshot.
Well, because the second part of that statement, which I didn't read, was my father's generation came back from the war and believed that everything was possible, but I don't think that's true anymore.
Well, you know, you've got Trump standing for president, so who knows what the fuck's going to happen.
How do you feel about those types of criticisms? People accusing that the music you're playing and what you do on the radio, promoting violence, promoting, you know, because in the UK, guns are illegal, handguns are illegal. So you don't see as many shootings, but you see a lot more stabbings. And we've had situations recently, I believe it was like the Nines CBiz situation where someone's chain got snatched and then a shooting happened, I believe like the next day, and I believe CBiz is in prison right now. And you have violence around hip hop. You definitely have it in America, and you have it over here. What responsibility do you feel in terms of the role of some of the music you play?
You know, I feel very much that, you know, hip hop is just reflecting people's lifestyles and is telling their story. And I feel like hip hop in this country is just reflecting situations of people having a hard time.
Yeah.
And it's those hard times which are causing the problems, not the music. And those hard times are, you know, economic disadvantage, housing disadvantage, lack of opportunity, which is killing everything, definitely getting a fight down from the police, and just, you know, the frustration of growing up in this environment. And hip-hop is an outlet to tell their story, and some of those stories aren't pretty and aren't glamorous. They're just the reality of how it goes down in you know, in the community. So hip hop is just reflecting that, not promoting that.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't feel a record would inspire you to become a gangster. You know, I don't think a record would inspire
you could argue that.
I think you'd be a gangster.
You could argue that because I remember when the NWA movie came out, and I interviewed everyone around the situation, and I interviewed Alonzo, who was the founder of the World Class Wrecking Crew, and what he said.
Gangs have been around forever in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Gangs had different reasons for existence. Some gangs started off to fight white people. Some gangs were designed to fight the police in the community, because what we're experiencing right now is nothing new. It's just being televised more. So the ratio of gangbangers to civilians was minuscule in the early 70s and early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, okay? Right after NWA, now I've been in the club business all this time, and I stopped making records. Went back to my second career, which is nightclub owner. What happened was NWA and gangster rap made gangster lifestyle cool. So the ratio started to change. Everybody was a gangbanger. It used to be 5% gangbanger, okay? Because gangbangers, once upon a time, had a code. You just couldn't have a gun. You had to be able to fight. You had to have something to bring to the hood other than a pistol. Well, at some point in time, when the dope and the gang banging became profitable, everybody became a gangbanger. So now you got 95% gangsters or 90% gangsters and 10% civilians.
It definitely popularized and romanticized the Crips and the Bloods and everything else like that. And then you have people like Lil Wayne, who pulls out a red rag in the middle of his Nightline interview and stuff like that. You could say it's just a reflection of it, but Lil Wayne's not gangbanging. Chris Brown's not gangbanging, but they are promoting gangbanging. And I think it does romanticize things to a certain degree. And when people are young and impressionable, I think it does have an effect on people.
I just think if you're a young person growing up in Thornton Heath, you have a lot of challenges in life to come through. And you want to get money and you want to survive your life, man. And I do not feel that 150 or 6'7" is going to set you on the wrong path, brother. And I think, what would Giggs be doing now if he wasn't making music?
Yeah.
Giggs would be hustling.
Yeah.
So I think Giggs and his success has given him and his people around him a way out from hustling. And that's the power of this music.
Yeah.
And it is a one-way street that way.
I feel you.
I am not going to listen to Giggs and say, let me buy a brick of coke and chop it up and make some money. I'm not going to use that as an inspiration to become a drug dealer.
Yeah.